Today on Natural 6 Gaming, we are playing Cartographers, a role-player tale. This is a game for 1 to 100 players, depending on if you have the paper to supply those 100 players. In Cartographers, you explore lands on behalf of the Queen and draw the most proficient maps to earn her favor. In the solo player game, at the end of the game, the Queen will give you your title for the most proficient map. Cartographers is a game designed by Jordy Adan and published by Thunderworks Games in 2019. So without further ado, let's play Cartographers. Welcome to Cartographers. I've already done the setup. This is the monsters deck, so I've already shuffled those, put one in the monsters deck. You put one monster in the deck for the land each time you shuffle for each new season. We have all the seasons for A, B, C, and D. I've already shuffled and put out the goals for each season. Borderlands is for A, so that's complete one column either across or down for 6 points each. So that would be across all the way or down all the way. B is the canal lake, which is you gain 1 point for each water that's adjacent to a farmland. And then again, you also get 1 point for each farmland adjacent to a water. So this would be count for 2 points because you have a farmland and a water and a farmland. Wild holds for C. So that is your village spaces, at least a 6 village space completed for 8 points. So you get 8 points for each village that is 6 spaces or more. And then Sentinel Wood for D, where you get each border farmland gets 1 point along there. So of course this is the border. So Borderlands is going to be very tough for spring. Probably not going to happen. So that one you'd be playing more for the winter time because winter is D and A. Spring is A and B. Summer is B and C. Fall is C and D. And winter is D and A. So how you play, solo is exactly the same as the multiplayer. The only difference is when you draw a monster in here, I'll go over that when it comes to it, but in the upper right-hand corner, it'll say where you need to place the monster. So it'll either be here, 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 or here, and then you go until you can find a spot to put the monster, and that's how you play that. So we'll get going right now with the game. So I'll draw the first card. Great River. So that's going to help with my canal lake. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to fill up too much space right away, so I'm going to do the 3 with the coin. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the borders open right now. So I'm just going to put it right here. I have laminated the sheets so that it's easier for replay and not wasting paper. And I just put a little wavy lines for the water symbol to show that that is water. So right now, I do have 1 point towards the spring of 8 points. So when I hit 8 points in the cards down here, that's when I would reshuffle and it would go then to summer. Riftlands doesn't cost any points going towards the next season. One space for any of the symbols that you want to use. So farm, houses, land, water, or monster if you wanted to put a monster out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the farmland, because if I put a farm up in the corner here, come D, So that would be 1 point for being on a border space, and that'll get my forest started. So here's a 2 with a farm or a water. What I'm going to do, because I already have water here, I'm going to flip it like this. Scratch that. I'm going to flip it like this so it goes like this. I don't want to cover up any of the ruins because the ruins has cards in there, and if you run out of ruins, then it can mess you up towards the end of the game. So I'm going to go this direction for the farm. And I'm just going to put farmland kind of like this. So that'll be good for spring and summer for the Canal Lake point scoring. So now I have 3 points towards my 8. So now we come to a ruins card. So the Temple Ruins, this means that the next card that is drawn has to be drawn on a temple area. And that's why you don't want to possibly cover up a temple spot unless you absolutely have to in this game when the temple comes up. So the temple is going to be covered up by a farmland, which isn't that great, but I could put it right there, and that way I cover that up. I still get a coin for that. And yeah, so I'll do that. So that's just a lot of farmland right here. But I do get a coin. I forgot to give myself a coin for this 3 right here that I did from the first turn. You get a coin if you use that shape. So, all right. So now we are at 4 points towards the 8. So we're halfway through spring, and now we get a monster. The monster is done before anything. So if I had the Temple Ruins and the monster came up, I would take the monster, do that one first, and then draw another card for the season. So with this monster, you start down in this corner, as indicated at the top here, and it has to be this shape. So of course, since there's nothing down in this corner, that is the shape that I use. And I'm just going to put a little circle there to indicate a monster, because it is different than the farmland, because I can't draw too much with my dry erase marker, but that's okay. So the problem with that is down here, each empty space that is adjacent to a monster scores negative points. So right here, I would get, if I wasn't able to cover it, I would get negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So that's pretty huge. Each space is negative 1. If it's adjacent to 2 different monsters, it still counts as 1 point. So that monster is done. So that goes back into the deck, which I'll shuffle that when we get to the next season. And I draw this. Treetop Village for 2 more. So at this point, after this turn, we'll have 2 left on spring. So Treetop Village is not too great. However, if I did the trees in this direction, I could cover up 2 of the monster spots, and that would help me with my negative points. So I'm going to do that. So it's there, and then that goes up 2, and then that's a tree. Now the problem with that is it does cover up one of the ruins, but I'm doing that just because I don't want the negative points. Plus, come D, that's going to give me an extra couple points right there for trees. A 1, which means we have 1 more time before spring, because we're at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is what we need. So the hamlet, that's going to start me on the wild holds that I need to do. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go for the coin. Scratch that. I am going to go for the coin because that's going to cover up that spot right there. And that way, I'm only going to get -2 for monsters if I'm not able to do the rest. So and that gives me a coin as well. And so this will be the last of spring. And it's a fishing village. Now I could do the water because that'll give me more points there if I put the water right there. Because I don't need the hamlets just yet. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this straight across like this. And I'm just going to connect it with this water just to make it nice and easy. And that way that gives me some extra points for this season. So now we're at over 8 points, so spring is done. I'm just going to put these aside and I'll shuffle these after I score. So at the end of each season you will score. So of course with Borderlands I wasn't able to do any of those. I figured that would be the case. Canal Lake is where I'm going to get points right now. So I get 1 point for each water adjacent to a farmland, and then also for each farmland adjacent to a water. So right here, this is 2 points. So I get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points. So that was a good turn for the Canal Lake. So we get 12 points under. Scratch that. I get 0 points for A. I get 12 points for B. And then you count up however many coins you have. So I have 3 coins. And then you count up however monsters that are not adjacent to something else. So I have this monster right here that has 2 empty spaces next to it. So it's -2 points. So that ends up being 13 points for spring. Now we will shuffle the deck and go into summer. So I've shuffled the deck. We're in summer now, and I put 1 monster back into the deck. If you don't find a monster during one of the seasons, that monster stays in the deck and an extra monster goes in. So if that had happened for spring, then summer would have 2 monsters. But because we saw the monster, we only have 1 monster in the deck. So we'll start off with summer. B and C is what we're scoring this round. So Canal Lake again. So Canal Lake, I will be starting off with 12 points already. So that's great for further on. And then now I have to work on the hamlet, which I have it started down here. So we have 2 time with a treetop village. And I really want to get this hamlet going, but unfortunately, any way that I do it, I cannot connect. I can't connect this hamlet down here, so I could work on a second hamlet for wild holds. So I think I might do that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this down here. Now, another thing to mention is when you're going against these mountains, the mountains you cannot move, you cannot write over. But once you have them surrounded by on all 4 sides, north, south, east, and west, then you get a coin for that mountain. So I did that. I got the second hamlet going. I have 2 points into summer, so I'm going to start. And I get another hamlet, which is good because that means I can start building one of the hamlets. Now what I could do, if I wanted to use this shape, I could complete this hamlet right here or this hamlet right here. I'm going to complete this one because that's also going to give me 2 more spots around this mountain and it'll give me a coin. So I'm going to do that. that gives me a coin. Fishing village. Now what I could do is I could use the fishing village to complete this hamlet. However, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use water instead up here, like right here, I think, because that'll give me more points for Canal Lake, because this is the last season that Canal Lake can be scored. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to, and I'm going to do it right here, I think. No, I'm going to do it right here. And that way, that gives me an extra 4 points for water right there. Water and farmland for the Canal Lake. So now we are at 5 towards the 8 of summer. This is going to be a short summer because we're already at 7 points, so the next card is going to complete summer. So we're at marshlands. There's not many reasons why I would want to take the water now. I could put it here. Actually, that might be a good choice because that'll give me a lot more points right there. And I'm not scoring the Sentinel Wood yet. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the water in this shape right here. So I'm going to do this. And that'll give me some good points for the Canal Lake for the end of this turn. Now, the problem with that is I only have 1 wild hold. So I'm hoping for another Hamlet card right here so I can get a good 16 points from here on out for the wild holds. Unfortunately, the Rift Canals does not help with that at all because I need... Oh, actually, it does because that is 5. I need 6. That's perfect. So I'm going to put one of the hamlets right here. And that'll give me that extra wild holds hamlet for 2 6 settlements. And that didn't cost anything for summer, so I have 1 more card. And this one is actually really good too, because I can use the farmland on the other side and get some good points. And I'm going to put it right here. So we're going to do that. So that is the end of summer. So now we score up. So we're going to score up the Canal Lake first. So again, for every water adjacent to a farmland, you get 1 point. So we'll do that first to kind of show how that works. So I didn't really go in depth on that, I don't think. So we have water here, here, and here. So water to farmland, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's just for water. And that's pretty much going to be doubled. So we have 13. Now we're going to go farmland to water. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. But it looks like 29 for B right here. And that's the last time we'll be scoring the Canal Lake. So now we're scoring the wild holds, which you need 6 hamlets to get 8 points. So I have 6 here, and I have 6 here. They're not connected, so that's 16 points for wild holds. Coins. I have 4 coins that I've scored so far. And then now monsters, and I still have that -2 points because I wasn't able to cover those 2 spots. So we have 29 plus 16 plus 4 and minus 2 for a total of 47 points for this round. So that's huge for going towards our final point. Put those away. We're going to reshuffle the deck and we're going to go to fall. So now we are in fall. I added one more monster to our deck because we didn't see the other monster in summer. So that means there's 2 monsters now in the deck for fall. Fall is only 7 time. And now we're scoring for Wild Holds and Sentinel Wood. So I've been working on Sentinel Wood a little bit. Not too much because I knew that it was towards the end. But now I'm really going to be starting working on that here. And also for the Hamlet, I'm going to try to get another Hamlet done. And now I really have to start working on Borderlands because winter is going to be Borderlands. So, and the first thing is a monster, and it's the same monster we had before. So it starts down here, and it goes in this direction. So basically what you have to do is you have to keep going around the board to see where that will connect. So it won't connect anywhere down here until you get to here. So now we're going to put a monster there, a monster there, and a monster there. That's not too bad because that helps me not connect these 2 Hamlets. That also gives me a spot right here next to the monster or to the mountain. So that's not too bad, and that only gives me a negative 1, 2, 3, 4 points if I'm not able to cover any of those spots. So monster goes back up here. And Orchard is first. So that's perfect because we don't need any more farmland because Canal Lake is not going to be scored anymore the rest of this game. So we're doing all forest. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the forest up here because that helps me with this mountain and it gives me 3 border spots. And that gives me 2 time towards fall, 2 more time towards fall. Now this is the question, do I want to try for another Hamlet or do I want to keep going with Treetop? Because I could do the Treetop, but it does give me 5 for a new Hamlet, so I think I might do that instead. And what I can do is I can cover up this spot right here to try and go towards the Borderlands as well. So I'm going to do that. So it's going to do this. And that gives me 5 towards another Hamlet that I can possibly get a 3rd Wild Holds item. All right, so now we're at 5 of the 7 for fall, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I needed. I got another Hamlet. I can put that Hamlet right here. That won't cover up that ruins, and it gives me a coin. So that is a perfect one right there for me. And I get another coin. All right, so we're at 5, and we got another monster. So now this is kind of going to mess me up a little bit. So this is the only way it can go. It starts off in this upper corner right here. Since it's 2 across, the first I can put on there is right here. That's going to make it hard for my Borderlands for this section now, but the thing it does do is it does give me 1 Borderlands row right here. So it's good and bad. Okay, so that monster goes there. This still could be the end of fall, depending on if we get a 2 here. We got a pillar, so we draw again. And we got a 2. Now, another rule that I hadn't mentioned is if you happen to get 2 pillars in a row, you just keep drawing until you get another card. So that's just an extra rule there. So I could do another homestead. It doesn't make any difference because fall is done, and that's the last time we use wild holds. Farmland doesn't do any good for me either because Canal Lake is done completely. So the only thing that's going to do is try and give me a mountain or borderlands. So I have to figure out what I want to do. I could put it here. That would cover up that monster right there. And that would also give me a coin for the mountain. If I put it here, actually I can't put it there because it has to be a pillar. It has to be a ruins. So the ruins, I could put it right here. That'll cover up that ruin, and that'll also give me a borderland. So I think I'm going to do that. And it really doesn't matter what I use, so I'm just going to keep it farmland over here. And that is the end of fall, so now we're going to score for fall. So wild holds, we score first because that would be C is in the first spot. So now I actually have 3 hamlets of 6 or more. So I have 1 here, and now 1 here. So that gives me 24 points. Now we're scoring the Sentinel Wood, so it's 1 point for every forest that is on a border. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. I have 5 coins now. And now I have more negative because of the monsters. So I have negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So negative 6. So that kind of negates the Sentinel Wood. So that gives me 29 points for fall. And now we're going into winter. So now we are in winter. I shuffled again. I put 1 monster back into the deck. Now we're scoring for D and A. So no B and C are no longer scored for the rest of the game because we're in winter. Winter is only 6 time. And we're going to just start off right now. Hamlet doesn't do any good for me. However, it does give me a coin. If I put it up here, that'll give me another coin for the mountain, and it will cover that borderland. So that's actually perfect. I'm going to do that. So it'll give me actually 2 coins just by covering this spot right here. Doesn't help me with forest, but I think it's actually a little bit better. Go into a ruins with a 2, and that is not going to be that helpful, unfortunately, because I only have 2 ruins left. I have 1 there, 1 there. If I do this, though, that will give me another borderlands, so I'll do that. It doesn't matter if I use it as a hamlet or not, so I think I'll just use it as a hamlet. It doesn't matter at this point. So we're at 3 of the 6 for winter now. Now we're at 4 of the 6. And I want to get as many coins as possible and coverage of borders and whatnot as possible. So if I use this 3, I could get another coin there and then a coin for the 3. That'll go right there. It doesn't help me with borderlands at all. And I think there's no other spot that I can put it, from what I can see, that will give me any better borderlands or anything like that. So I'm just going to do that. I'll put this here. That also helps me with that monster. So that gives me 1 coin there for the mountain and 1 coin for the usage of the shape. Another pillar, which is the ruins. That's the last ruins I have, and we have a monster. So we do the monster first, and then we do the ruins for the next thing. Now, this monster is not great because it starts in the upper right corner right here. It has this shape, so it's 2 with nothing in the middle, and then 2 again. This is the first spot that it can go. So we'll do this. Now it does give me a coin for this mountain, but it does give me a lot of negative space for the monster, unfortunately. And 2 will finish out the winter. Neither of those symbols helped me. I was hoping for forest, but that shape, I think that shape, the best I can do is put it here for another coin, because I can't get any other, I can't get any other borderlands, so I'm just going to do that. It'll give me another coin, so that's another point at the end. And I'll just put farmland so it's a little easier to draw. All right, so winter is done. We're going to score for winter, and then we're going to score for the game. So D, the Sentinel Wood, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. A for the Borderlands, so I have 1 there. I don't have 1 there, I have 1 there, so that's 2. I have nothing else going across. Going up and down, I have 1 there for 3. And then I have 1 there for 4. So I actually got 4 Borderlands. So 4 times 6 is 24. So I got 24 there. Coins, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coins. And then the monsters. I have -1 here. Now it borders 2 monsters, so that only counts for -1. Same with here. So there's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So that's not too bad. So now we have, we score, so 6 plus 24 plus 10 minus 7 is 33. So now we score the total for all seasons. So we have 13 plus 47 plus 29 plus 33. So my total comes out to 122, which is respectable. So now at the end of the game, we're going to consult the handbook and find out what our title is, because you're a cartographer for the queen. When you're playing solo mode, the queen is going to give you your title at the end of the game. So consulting the handbook for the solo mode, changes to scoring, this is where you determine what you're going to be. So I got 122 points. You're going to take these 122 points, you're going to subtract the totals for each of these cards that you were playing against. So that means I have 122 minus 25 minus 16 minus 24 and minus 24. So that gave me a grand total of 33 points. When you consult the handbook, 33 points is just over the best you can do, so I became a legendary cartographer. So I'm just going to move this aside. I'm going to write down legendary cartographer. So that was actually the best I've ever done on this game solo. So it worked out pretty great for me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And please like and subscribe. That would be really helpful for my channel. I hope you enjoyed this solo play of Cartographers, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.